If you want to change the world, go for it. But finish that by the time you're 25, bankrupt a couple times maybe, and then come back to earth and listen to me, just build a business, just be rich.
Hello and welcome to Confessions of a B2B Entrepreneur. My name is Tom, your host, and today we have Wong, who has an incredible journey capturing the mobile wave back in 2008/9, building the first form builder for the iPad. The business is still live today with roughly 100 customers, fully bootstrapped. And then Z has a company that incubates other products and then also now has built a venture studio. So we talk about B2B software and how AI is going to impact that. Very exciting. Before we get into that, quick shout out to fame.so for producing the show. If you'd like a show like this, please go to fame.so, request a proposal, and let's jump into that episode with Z now. Z, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we have, if you're building a B2B SaaS product or AI agent, check out GearHard. They're not just a dev shop, they're founders who built and exited their own startups. So whether you're validating an idea, already scaling, they know how to meet you where you are. They've helped launch 70 products, including Smart Suite, which raised $38 million. Right now, Confessions of a B2B Entrepreneur listeners get a free strategy session and 20% off validation, discovery, and prototyping throughout September. Hit the link in the description to claim your slot. Someone here with deep B2B entrepreneurial experience, and then also, it seems at least, some deep expertise in AI. So we're going to start with the first one, then we're going to move on to the second. So first, I want to talk about a company that you founded a while back called, well, I think the first name might be an iPhone builder, but then it was also maybe rebranded to Zenith. Is that correct?
Right.
Cool.
Right. It's one and the same.
Same thing. Just for the benefit of the audience that are not aware, could you give a high level overview of what the business is? And then I want to understand how we built it.
Right. So high level, what it is Zenith, it's a company name. iPhone builder is the product. In the early days, we always dream about having many products. That's why the company name and the product name is not the same thing. But like many startups, we end up honing into a single product, and that is iPhone Builder. To simply put, it's digital form. It's nothing unlike Google Form, but on steroid. So what we focus on is think industrial inspection. Think something huge, like a machine, like a ship, like oil pipeline, tunnels, bridges, huge things that we inspect. We digitize the entire workflow. And in the past, people will walk through, inspect these things using clipboards, using paper, using camera. Now they use their phones or tablets, mostly tablets, actually. So yeah, in the past, decade or so, that's what I've been doing. I work on it since 2009. It is one of the first business products on iPad. Actually, we stay on the business page on the iPad App Store first page for almost a month because there was none. There was none business applications. We're talking about 2010, okay? Good 15 years ago when iPad first came along. At that time, actually, it's 2010, right? At that time, most people still believe iOS is just for fun. It's a personal device. Is not for business. So, but a lot has changed. So that's iPhone Builder. We serve mostly mid to big enterprises. So yeah, that's a high level.
And we'll get onto marketing in a second, but I can see on the wall behind you, you might have taken a leaf from Salesforce's book with the no, they had no software or something, but you guys have
no software. Yeah.
Have no paper.
No paper. Yeah.
Nice.
You got it.
So let's just dig in a bit more. So you founded the company.
Right. Yep.
Did you raise any money?
No. So the founding of the company, that's why the company name and the product name is seemingly not aligned. Because when I started the company, I actually started this company in 2003. And I started this, actually, the story was, I had a training school way back in the dot-com boom. And that failed dramatically. We can get into it if you want, but that failed dramatically. Get into serious debt, and then I went back to work. So I've already declared that I'm not cut off for the business world. I tried it. I can tell my grandkids I try, and then now I can just go back to work. But then I get itchy. So then I started Zerion Software, originally just a good old consulting firm. There's nothing fancy. Just like I came out, start taking projects, and we went on doing many, many different projects. And then until 2008, right? So the world changed upside down. Well, it's not actually, the funny thing is I went through this entire process. I'm talking about 2008. Did not realize the financial market has collapsed because the iPhone came out. Like that was the big thing to me. Like iPhone came out in 2008. App Store announced in August or September of 2008. And that is when like my world, I remember talking to my partner, then we're like, no, this is it. We have to hone in. We start working on only mobile projects. And that was 2008, during the starting point of iOS, that is like fall, August, September timeframe. To the end of 2008, we built like just anything that's like thrown our way. From like we built a rock paper scissors game. We built like there are celebrities want to build their own apps. We built that. We built a TV app. It's not even the remote. It's just lookup programming. Just like back then, it's kind of crazy. But then we try to get our hands on, and then in 2009 we launched iPhone Builder. So that's that story.
So it was a big journey even before we got to iPhone Builder in 2009.
Right.
But it seems like what you guys did quite well already is that you spotted like a wave, which is the iOS. And then you probably also spent, it seems like, 6 years learning how to build applications.
Yeah. I mean, that's my life, so to speak. I mean, I don't know anything else. I don't know how to turn on the faucet. The joke was that when my youngest son was born, we hired a helper to help out for a couple of months. And when the helper showed up in our house, my wife is still in the hospital. So I show her how to like navigate the house, different things. And then when my wife finally came home, she's like, well, what you tell her is completely wrong. Like how to use the laundry machine, the rice cooker, everything is wrong. So like I'm here on the record and saying software is the only thing I know. I know nothing else. So
I can relate for sure. Okay, so we started building iPhone Builder. Didn't raise any money. How many people are building it? Is it I think you had a co-founder, right?
I built it, right? So I have two other partners at the time. So we already had a team at the time, remember? So because we were doing consulting. So we had kind of a team, although it's not a team that building the product. So the product, the first couple of generations is all built by me at night. 2008, 9, and 10, actually, we still had consulting contracts. So it's almost like, it's very equivalent to you have a full-time job and you build your startup at night. So I had although a singular company, but there are two sides of it. One side makes money, one side takes time and energy, right? So during the day, I'll work on contracts. At night, I'll build iPhone Builder. Remember, at the time, we had no idea. No, but looking back, I think I went on it very aggressively. By 2010, we've exited all of consulting. And so in both 2009 and 2010, I have to borrow money for Christmas. I didn't have enough money to go through Christmas. Yeah. But after that, things turned around.
Once you had the first iteration of the product, how did you get the first customers to start paying?
It's funny because to this date, I still don't know how the first customer found us. There are two kind of first customer found us before. I must have to talk about it. Now, it's a very different time. I think we're incredibly lucky. We just got caught onto this mobile wave. How do we get them to pay is by charging them. I think it's important, right? But we have first two customer. Well, one of the earliest one call us and ask, like, are you guys building something like this? And I said, yeah. And I want to see it. I want you to be in Boston. I want to see it. And so Chris and I just flew up there, sight unknown. We have no idea what this is about. Like, I don't know, it's a scam or anything, right? But back then, it's not as much scam as today. But so we went up there. We kind of sealed the deal without a form builder. So, I mean, remember, we're selling digital form. We're helping people inspect their factory, right? So this particular customer, they were inspecting water pipe. They go into businesses to inspect people's pipe to see if they're up to regulation. And the guy was like, well, I've been looking for something like this for a long time, even before the iPhone came out, on Windows, on BlackBerry. Couldn't find it. And this is perfect. We want it. And at the time, we did not have a form builder. Like, it is a form application. There's no way to build form. The only way to build form is by keying in directly in the database. So I actually have to type in the form. I still remember I did a tutorial, a 45-minute tutorial on how do you build form by typing into SQL Server. And then our friends call me like, hey, you're nuts. Like, nobody's going to go through that. Yeah, yes. So that's why we have to build a form builder to make it easier. But that was the first customer. It's a water inspection. There's also another one that's in the food industry. They're inspecting kitchens. Also found us during that time. I would say, like, in the early days, it's funny because we got a lot of signups on Saturdays. And we don't know why. I mean, my theory was that in the early days of iOS, a lot of managers will have their phones. And then on Saturdays, they will be in their like a family party or like a birthday party of their kids. They will sit in the corner and then they will browse the app store and then see what they can do. And then they will find us, they will sign up. I mean, it's funny. Time is very different than today, but yeah, that's how we kind of get started. We got our first download from Hawaii. Back then, I mean, you have to remember, in the early days, like, apps just get downloaded for no reason. I mean, most people are not your customers. They just download random stuff.
Makes sense. And what is like the scale or size of the business now? Because you guys still own it, right? I don't think you raised any money and it's still going.
Yeah. I mean, it's not huge. We have about 100 customers. I would say roughly a little bit shy of 1 million users right now. But these are not consumers, right? So all the users are business users. Yeah, so that's the scale of it. We're not huge. We're not raising money, although I am less opposed to it.
But you're profitable, right?
Right, have been for a long time. Yeah,
for a long time. And so, what have you then been doing? Well, assuming that not all the profits need to go back into product development, what have you been doing with the excess cash?
Right. So, well, for a long time, a lot of the cash went back to R&D. We try. I mean, like I said, time is now very different, right? So in the early days, I mean, it's all inbound marketing. People call in, and the key is to make sure the right people show up, and then we fulfill the orders. Today, that basically dried up. Nobody called in. Because the market has shifted significantly, right? So right now, if you have such a need, I mean, the need basically is, let's say you're building a building, right? So I'm sitting in a building. You're building a building and you want inspection. You're not going to go out to the App Store and look for or even the Google search. You've already been using a workflow application that has some sort of inspection capability, or using ServiceNow, Salesforce. Or if you want to build, you're not looking for an app that's like us. You'll be going to Google or Microsoft. They have local products. You can build those, right? So the product shift significantly. So in the last, I would say 5 to 6 years, we continue to try to reinvent, or we try to invent and get away from what we call like simple mobile data collection, right? So we try to go in more vertical focus. So if you go online right now, you see a lot of our agriculture focus, material and vertical focus marketing. And of course, right now we're heavily invested in the future of data collection of like, if you even talk about just simple inspection, how would you do inspection? How would you do factory management in the AI world? That's where we're investing. Yeah, still trying to, trying to evolve, I guess.
This kind of transitions us into the venture studio,
Yeah.
right? Which is, I think, a separate entity from Zerion, right?
Right. Yep. It's separate.
And so there, I guess, are you leveraging your experience of building business software to then find other founders and then fund them and then show them how it's done?
Right. Yeah. In a very simple term, yes.
In short.
Yes.
And is the cash that you're doing that with, do you raise that from investors, or is that from like excess cash from iPhone Builder?
No. So we're not investing cash from iPhone Builder to invest into the venture studio. No, except for the upfront cost that we need to like hire a couple people, that is from me and my partner there. But the main concept is that B2B is much better as a business than B2C, although most startups, most founders, when they first dream up what they want to do, they want to go B2C because they're a consumer, right? B2C is hard. Similar to hardware is much more difficult than software. I mean, software, you hit a button, you update everybody's code, right, within an hour. And if you build a hardware, you want to update, it takes a year or two, right? So software is easier than hardware. B2B is better, easier than B2C. So I want to help more entrepreneurs building B2B startups, especially in the AI wave, right? Looking back, I felt extremely lucky that we caught onto the mobile wave, and we're in the AI wave. Now, this wave is slightly different, right? May not be as clean cut as before. I mean, in the mobile wave, you put an app on App Store, Apple told you what to do, precisely what to do, how to charge. Everything is defined by Apple and then Android, right? Now, the world is very wide open, but everybody can clearly see this is a new wave. Things are going to change. Every B2B software will change in the next few years. So tremendous opportunity. Now, I'm getting older and I know I'm not going to be doing this forever. So I want to start thinking about what would I be doing 10, 20 years from now. And I would love to help people build more startups. Right now in the AI wave, maybe there's a next wave, maybe quantum wave or whatever, right? I want to stay in the game. I don't want to sit by the beach, although maybe a little bit, right? So not too much of that. Yeah, I admire people who can work till their 90s.
Got it. And so the venture studio is like you understanding what you want to be doing like now and in the future. And it isn't necessarily like coding up mobile apps. It's like advising and showing other people the way.
Yeah, if it's done right, it should be encouraging a lot of people to take the leap into building B2B startups, solving simple, mundane business problems. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to change the world. I mean, how simple is this? Just a form. I mean, it's so simple, but if you do it right, I mean, there's money there. And another thing is, I always advise younger startups founders to, like, if you want to change the world, go for it, right? Go for it before you're 25. Go for it, try to change the world, try to go to the moon, try to go to Mars, trying to create the next battery technology, whatever it is, right? But finish that by the time you're 25, bankrupt a couple times maybe, and then come back to Earth and listen to me and just build a business, just be rich. I mean, that's okay. You don't have to change the world.
I totally agree. And it's such a valid point you raise that if you are trying to build a business that like helps people and that may get you rich, as you say, in the future, it's just better to go where there's less competition, where it's like less sexy, where it's not like a mobile social app. It's like some boring B2B software that you're competing against no one or very few people. So we're in total alignment. What is the model with the venture studio? Do you put cash in at the start and then advise, or do you just advise, or how does it work?
Yeah. So because, I mean, by nature, I've talked about, I only know how to build. The only skill I have is software development, right? So I can advise. Obviously, I can advise. I mean, we have other partners doing different things. One of our partner is a professional VC. So he has access to external money. So what we want to do is we help the company start from an idea, or actually find a group of professionals, like in a certain field, let's say real estate or healthcare. And we form a think tank, and then from there coming up with ideas. And then now that we kind of know what idea, we then recruit a bunch of founders. Now, I want to say younger people, but founder does not have to be young. Okay, they tend to be young, but they don't have to be. And then we try to merge these two things. And in the meantime, we'll put in cash in the form of development resources, product validation resources to get you off the ground first, right? And then our partner Alex is going to help raise external funding, right? So this does a couple of things. One, I think this helps the founding team to get off the ground. And in particular today, like the barrier to start is so low. Like, I mean, it's just like, you just have to start. It is easy. And we can help you out, right? So, or you can just go on your own. I mean, I think today, you don't even need us. Actually, maybe that's not good for business.
Don't say that,
like, yeah, I know. Like, well, maybe just listen to us, right? We can help you out. And then we can help you get external funding. Now, downstream investors love it because from their perspective, they're like, there's so many people doing so many random things. They don't, I mean, I just went back from Vancouver, is a pitching event, is Web Summit. And there, I mean, probably 2,000-3,000 startups pitching like a good, like maybe 100 investors. So investors are bombarded by all these startup ideas. So working with us, our downstream investors are happier because we essentially vetted all of these teams through our pipeline. So that's the idea. At the end of the day, I mean, selfishly, I just want a mean for me to work till my 90s. So
makes total sense. How is AI changing like the early stages of building these B2B software companies?
Oh, tremendously. Now, right now, the term vibe coding, right? So I love talking about vibe coding because 1 year ago, this term did not exist. Maybe the concept exists, but the term didn't exist. So you cannot find a vibe code developer. Today, I would argue you shouldn't be building code by hand. Now, although I know like most of my peers, most of my friends are still building code by hand, assisted by AI. So like the distinction is you're doing pair programming versus vibe coding. Today, in the startup world, you should start using vibe coding and get to prototype amazingly quickly. Like if you have an idea, put something out there. Now, engineers, I'm an engineer, we tend to love to build. So I hear a lot of teams like, well, we need money to build. Build what? I say, like, do you even know if people will pay for it? In today's world, you should build just the minimum. Like, I mean, nothing new. The lean startup concept, okay, it's not new. But today, using the lean startup concept, you can go actually quite far. You can build something almost there. I mean, just you can ignore, right? People are going to kill me, but when I say that, you can ignore security, enterprise, right? All that first, okay? But get to product market fit. Make sure at least one person pay for it, right? So when I talk to startup founders, it's like, I don't want 100 signups. I want 5 people pay $1, right? That's massive difference. You can find 100 signups because sign up is free. I mean, people would sign up. I'm not saying that's nothing, okay? 100 sign up is still great. It's still hard to get. But 5 $1 pay account trumps 100 free account. So yeah, to answer your question today, you should go use a lean startup, okay? And now knowing with AI, you can vibe code almost like to being able to get money, right? Because earlier you said, well, how do you charge money? I'd say today, you shouldn't have to raise money to charge your first $1. You should get to your first $1 before you even, attempt to talk to any investors.
Nice. What if your day-to-day these days? Are you still building on iPhone Builder? Are you just working in the studio?
I'm not on the day-to-day on iPhone Builder. I mean, right, so like in Zerion, I am mostly like, I have 2 roles. I'm the cardboard CEO. I'm the cardboard. I'm here as a cardboard. I serve exactly like a cardboard. That's my main role. And second is that it's counseling. So I talk to many managers. I have one-on-one meetings with them, and mostly just counseling. It's like, well, people want this, and what do I do? Well, I do my counseling. So like maybe another side business I can start up a counseling business. But that's my like on the iPhone builder side. Now within Zerion, we're investing into the future of AI also. Like I have the venture studio, which is to me is a personal long-term project. Couple decades down, I'm in no rush to make it work. Zerion, however, we have to migrate off of what has been making money, continue to make money, right? But this like when I keep saying every B2B software will change, well, iPhone Builder has to change along the way, right? So what does that mean? So like recently we launched something called fewapps.ai. And the concept is now we can build few apps without iPhone Builder, without any builder, right? You can build it. So when you can build anything fast, who needs a phone builder? I mean, I'm like sabotaging my own application. But that's also part of my day is to spend a lot of time thinking about the future, working with a small team to experiment, to test what works, right? So like we've tested audio-based, voice-based data collection, right? So like imagine you're doing type of inspection that I was talking about, but instead of tapping on the screen, you talk to it. We work on some of that, and we're now working on visual data collection where, I mean, it's a simple concept. You just take pictures, just take tons and tons of pictures. AI should know what you're talking about. I mean, there should be very little need for typing in or saying, like using the same example as a water pipe inspection, right? So a lot of our inspection is ranking. You're looking at something and say, well, that's clean. Okay, how clean from 1 to 5, right? The inspector will put in a number. Well, in today's world, you should just take pictures, right? If we have enough training data, the app should know, like, is this level 5 clean or level 1 clean, right? So visual data collection. So yeah, to answer your question, my day-to-day is split between like being a cardboard counselor and then doing research, helping the team just to experiment on new things. And then I work on venture studio about a couple hours a week.
Makes total sense. Okay, it's been a long journey, hasn't it? Since 2003, first building the iPhone builder in 2009, but 2003, first building the consulting company. We will link to Zerion. We'll also link to the venture studio. Is there anything else we should link to or mention?
Yeah, mention fewapps.ai. I mean, that's our new experiment.
Amazing.
If you feel like that is the right thing to do, let us know. Like the concept is that any apps can be built relatively quickly. So just start dreaming. Let us know.
There we go. Fewapps.ai. Aziz, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, what a journey. Really, really appreciate Z's opinions on how B2B can be easier than B2C, primarily due to less competition. And also, that could actually be a risk now as AI is super interesting. Quick shout out to Fame for producing this show, fame.so. Thank you so much to Z for coming on. And of course, thanks to you for listening.